This is part two of my father was a warlock or is a warlock who hid behind religion. So I just want to go back to um, where I told my mom about the her friend's boyfriend coming over and touching me in inappropriate ways in which he should not be touching me. So before I got interrupted by the sheriff's going past, and then I'll get back to when my dad's friend came over to the house and grabbed my mother. Um, so um, when I told my mom, it didn't seem as though she knew what to do with that information because it's like she totally shut down, which further clarifies and lets me know that, she did actually go through some trauma in her own childhood. And, you know, uh, my dad wasn't the greatest, but some things, I learned from him. And one of the most important things I learned from him was to um, do my own research. I don't know if he expected me to actually do the research on everything that there needed to be research done on. Um, but I did. So, and the fact that I'm so independent now, I'm very independent. I've never been codependent on anyone, not even him. He never allowed us to be. I mean, the guy never really remembered my birthdays growing up. So, you know, you just got used to the fact of, you know, not being dependent on someone doing or saying anything, you know, to make you feel like you are somebody. I've always, kind of depended on myself. But at the same time, I always wanted his approval. I wanted him to feel proud of me. I always struggled with, well, I mean, I'm doing everything right. I'm obeying all of his rules, I'm being a good daughter, I'm going to school every day, I'm getting good grades, I'm being respectful. But, you know, that was that is one of the things that a warlock does. They love to have control and they can be excessively manipulative. But so when I told my mom, she didn't know how to handle it due to her own trauma issues that she endured. Um, but her evil friend, the one that ran from the church, she believed me. And when I told her, it's crazy how when they came back to the house, when my mom came back to the house, her friend was there, another friend was there, and then her friend's boyfriend was there, the one that just touched me. So it was like kind of like putting me on the spot to see whether he could intimidate me to not say anything. But I chose to speak the truth regardless, in which I did. And um, he begged me not to tell, begged me not to tell. Please don't tell anyone. I don't know if he threatened to hurt me. I mean, I guess I was such a brave kid, whereas that, you know, I, I, I don't know, I trusted in something, but I definitely didn't trust in this person. And I knew what he did was totally wrong. So I definitely spoke up and told the truth. The friend believed me. Um, and the relief came from her actually believing me, the friend. But the burden of nothing being done about it had me mentally trapped for years. For years. I mean, I was definitely trapped in my head, and it definitely made me feel like no one cared about me. Um, I definitely felt alone. I felt isolated, and I think at that time in my life, it really uh, changed me. It really changed me. It actually made me grow up really fast, faster than I needed to, um, in order to deal with the issue. Um, yeah, so it definitely kept me trapped for a long time until I was able to actually go in and forgive my mom, um, for not being able to do anything because she was dealing with her own traumas. So I don't blame her for it. How can I? She was unhealed. She didn't know how to handle it. When she went, possibly told someone, I don't know if she told anyone. Maybe it was a long time family secret and no one spoke of it. Wow. So, yeah. Um, but I knew for myself, I had to speak up on it because I knew what was right and what was wrong, and that was totally wrong. So, I knew that I did the right thing. And by me, when I healed that aspect of myself, I knew that I did the right thing when I spoke up about it. I didn't keep it quiet. I mean, it bothers me a lot over the years. It definitely um, shaped how I viewed a lot of relationships. Um, a lot of relationships were I accepted the lust based relationship in a way, but deep down I didn't want it that way. I wanted something deeper. I wanted something with substance. I didn't just want that. And I just realized, you know, every time I was in a relationship, it would always go wrong. Like I would introduce uh, people I dated to my family, and soon after it would go south. So I'm pretty sure they were throwing hexes and curses at all of my relationships. I know they were. Um, it was a lot of abuse, mental, physical, emotional abuse, and every last one of my relationships. And um, I got to a point where I said, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not, and I'm definitely not going to deal with someone putting their hands on me. So the first hit was me walking out the door. I never sat in a situation and just got my butt whooped by someone. That just wasn't me. I will walk away. I don't have an issue or a problem with walking away from anybody because I will walk away. Um, it was the walking away part that was easy, so easy for me to do in a way. Especially, well, when it came to abuse, like I was quick to walk away from any type of abuse. I was never gonna be victim to anybody's abuse. Um, but yeah. But so with the I just want to touch base on the abusive boyfriend too. So with the abusive boyfriend, my first boyfriend, which was abusive, um, Not only did my dad not stand up for me in that situation, but he began a whirlwind affair with my abuser's older sister. And in a sick way, it was like, now that I look on it, was he trying to cipher energy that way as well? Because I was, intimate with the abuser. Um, he was actually my first at 18. So, yeah, it was just strange how, yeah, it's, I mean, like I said, like this subject is definitely space for a whole novel. Like, uh, how to break this stuff down and put it in different chapters, and it's a lot of information. Like, it's a lot. Um, so let's go back to when I was around 4 or 5, and my dad's friend came over to the house. My mom was there, and she told him my dad wasn't there. He pushed his way in, grabbed my mother. Well, I asked him if I had a alphabet board, and I remember I was standing in front of the bathroom, and I was like, "Do you want to?" And I knew him. I knew it was my dad's friend. I asked him. I was like, "Do you want to say the ABCs with me?" And I remember him shrugging his shoulders and just pushed me down on the floor in the bathroom. And I remember I'm cutting the back heel of my foot on the towel, the bathroom towel, and him grabbing my mother and taking her in the room. And all I can remember was hearing her crying, just crying, no screaming, no fighting. And I believe he told her that if she fought him, that he would possibly hurt me, the kid. So my mom, she didn't fight. So after that was over, I remember my mom calling my dad's, because my mom, she didn't have family in this state. She was far away from her family in the big city. So I remember her calling his cousins, and they didn't talk in the house. They walked up the street to the corner and was talking. And I just remember me being able to hear the entire conversation from down the street. Like, I knew exactly what she was saying, and this is why she went down the street, because she knew intuitively I would know what they were talking about. But I still, she wasn't aware that I was able to um decipher conversations at a distance as well. Um, so I remember her saying to his cousins, "I need to tell him, what happened. Should I tell him what happened?" And I remember them saying that no, you shouldn't tell him. If you tell him, he's gonna, you know, try to unalive this person, and then he's gonna end up in prison, and then you're going to be, a single wife by yourself. And they kind of manipulated her into not saying anything. I don't know why they would do that, because this guy is still out here in the streets and he can come back and do this again. But he never came back. That's the thing. So I'm wondering if it was a setup. Did my dad send this man to the house to do this? And possibly he assumed that my mom would um, fight this guy, and this guy would in turn hurt me to get rid of me, possibly. I don't know. Because when I told my father this story years later, he was like, not my friend. Like, he didn't believe it. But in fact, it was your friend. You know, all the people that you assume were your friends were stabbing you in the back, crossing you at every twist and turn. You know, reasons why you went to prison was due to your so-called friend. Reasons that your home, your family was ripped apart was due to so-called friends and so-called fake witchy family members. And you know, I just want to say this. Another reason why I know that um my dad's side of the family was into that occult stuff, and he possibly could have introduced it to uh my mom's family. And you know, they probably already knew. My mom's side of the family, her brother, her sister, you know, they possibly knew about, was in their own occult, secretly, because a lot of these occult groups do work behind a cloth. They shield themselves behind distinguished titles, um, distinguished roles that they play in life. Um, yeah. So the fact that he did not believe me just let me know that he knew. And in fact, his cousins, that side of the family, all knew. But what made me realize that the family was really into that stuff, because so one of my younger sisters, who is no longer here, she passed due to suspicious activity. I mean, the deaths in my family were like back to back to back to back. It was ridiculous how people were passing away back to back in one family, immediate family unit. Like my sister, my nephew, my grandmother, my sister, my mom, my sister, and my niece, and then my youngest sister, all passed away in the span of 5 years. Span of 5 years. Um, that's no coincidence. That's occultish. That's people planning things that they have no business planning, trying to ruin me because they saw into my life, my Akashic records, which is a no go, a no to do. You don't have permission to do that. Yet you've been stealing from my Akashic records and stealing my energy and trying to switch out my destiny for your own selves because you're selfish. But the reason I know that they were into this is because my younger sister, she had sat in a fire ant bed And you know, those ants, they could kill you. And I'm getting chills because the energy that day, we were outside playing, and my sister, she sat in the ant bed and she started screaming, and she had all these ants crawling all over her, like all in her hair. They were everywhere. Like she could have died. I think she did. But my mom and dad, they called all, and my I think my cousins were there. My dad's cousins were there, and they called all these women in, and I believe they were high priests or witches, but they could have been good or bad. I don't know. They were good because they saved her life. But they came in and they brought her back to life. Like it was like a whole group of women surrounding her. They had her laid out on a deep freezer. They were pouring alcohol all over her. They were pouring water. All they was doing all types of things. Um, wow, I just still remember that day, and it still rattles my voice because she was the most, she was the sweetest of my siblings, and I miss her dearly to this day. She was, she was meant to be here, and I don't know what they did, but they prayed and they brought her back. I mean, she had ant bites all over her. She had spots all over her. Um, she was down for a little bit. I don't even remember if they took her to the hospital after that, but she was still with us. Um, I'll probably talk about, this later on in another reading if it comes to mind. Um, but yeah, she definitely had a rough life, and I just feel like my evil stepmother could have possibly cursed her, hexed her. Like she was so abused. She was so mentally and emotionally abused. Cause she rarely got any whoopings. She didn't really get whoopings. Like it was rare. But she was my little sweetheart, and I was always there for her. Even during the times where she was not her best version, I knew what her potential was, and I knew what she was capable of. And that was the last sibling that they took away from me because they wanted to leave me with nobody. They wanted to leave me desolate. They wanted to leave me emotionally sad and not having anybody that I could talk to, because everyone that they took away from me was all the people that I was close to, that I was able to speak with. Not only did they take away one of my children, or possibly both, they're still alive, but they definitely turned them against me. But um, I don't even know what I want to say else. in regards to the situation, but just to say that I've definitely healed all of this. And it's like I haven't really had the time to really grieve the deaths after my grandma, because they were so back to back to back to back, where I felt like I, there was no time for me to be weak. I had to remain strong. I had to remain level headed. I didn't have time to, I would cry for a week and I would have to snap myself out of it and get back out here and do what I needed to do to break this curse off my bloodline. I had to be the one that was always going to be up here standing, because I'd be damned if anybody tried to take me away, try to take me out. I mean, they definitely lined me up with all types of ways to get me up out of here, all for some cash, all for some life insurance. Like, really? And it was strange to me because it was always a mention of money. It was always a mention of, oh, I want to do this. Um, Loan me this. I know you got it. Huh? Yeah. But yeah, um, and my family definitely has contributed to this and has definitely been ciphering from my energy for all these years. I mean, I was never, ever supposed to uh, wake up and be a truth speaker. I was never supposed to come out and speak the truth and, you know, break the curses off my bloodline. I was never supposed to survive. And with my social media accounts being out, I only have YouTube and TikTok. I don't have Facebook. I mean, I don't have Facebook. Um, I still have like my old Instagram, but I'm never really on that at all because I don't know how to delete that shit. I've been actually trying to delete it for a long time and I can't delete it. Um, I don't talk to nobody on there. I don't talk to anyone from my mother's side of the family nor my father's side of the family. I don't trust any of them. I mean, some of them are probably okay, but the ones that I know that have been sneakily trying to come for me at the instruction of my father, my dad, are definitely not ever gonna sit at my table ever. Like, you loved this man so much who was so wicked, but you guys are wicked as well. Like, you tried to help him get rid of me. And I know I'm probably forgetting something else I need to say in regards to this, but maybe that's all I need to say. Maybe just this little bit could possibly help somebody or guide somebody out of a situation that they are dealing with. I don't know. But my father, my dad, I don't know for sure if he is my dad because when I was 12, my mother told me that he wasn't my dad. So I'm not sure because I don't have his last name. My sister don't have his last name. Um, we're the only two that does not have his last name. So with them having these sex, I keep saying it. YouTube, forgive me. With them having these sex parties, is it possible that my dad manipulated my mom into being intimate with someone, or maybe I don't know. I don't even want to think about my parents' intimacy, but I know I need to speak about the situation because I'm totally in the situation. You know, my dad maybe never had a desire to physically try to touch me in that way, but spiritually, your sacral energy is your creativity, your um uh, hold on. I'm about to tell y'all now. Learning. Page of Pentacles. So your sacral is your creativity, your passion, your playful energy, your emotions. Unbalanced sacral is guilt, addictive behaviors, explosiveness, drama, sinking attention, lack of desire, insecurity, and anxiety. So his energy was unbalanced because he was sharing it with many. He wanted something fresh, he wanted something new to be able to go out here and manifest off of. And by siphoning the sacred energy from the innocent, he was able to build his success. Um, yeah, so that's how that worked. And this is why it's just weird. Like, how do you go outside of your body to even think of pulling in? And I guess she saw the energy of, because your sacral energy is like your lower region. So she saw the vision. She didn't understand the spiritual aspect of that, but she saw the vision as being sexual, 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 and she assumed that I was having a relationship with my father. No, ma'am, I was not. And I honestly never forgive that lady. I mean, I've forgiven her for what her and her daughter has done to us, to myself and my siblings. I forgive them, but do I ever want to be around? Well, she passed away. God bless her soul. She passed away. I now understand that she meant no harm. She was just going off the vision that she got from spirit, but she didn't truly understand the spiritual aspect of it. So, you people out here reading your Bibles, you need to understand the spiritual aspect that comes with the biblical readings as well. So, yeah, um, definitely something that I look back on and I'm like, wow. And I still get like, you know, memories of the past, and maybe I get memories of the past is because there's something in the past that I need to settle, and that's why the memory comes up. And today in the 7-7 portal, this memory is settled and forgiveness is in the mix. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do a energy reading for the collective, and making promises they can't keep. Yeah, these people that were in my life were definitely making promises they couldn't keep, and really most of it was pretty much gaslighting me. Oh, I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna come visit you. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna call you. Um, you can come hang out, and it was always like forced in a way. I guess obligation to do something because you feel like these people are your family and you have to do it. Um, but a lot of times, um, it was just to siphon energy, to steal energy, to take back to a warlock, you know? So, yeah, you can't take my energy anymore because you know what? I'm stepping back from all of you people and I'm moving forward in my life and I don't want to have anything to do with you because I've definitely seen too much and I know what it is that you're doing. So, stop. I mean, especially with your secret addictions, all of that stuff is going to come out in the open. And then what? What are you going to do then? You can't hide anymore. You can't hide behind your titles. You can't pretend to be this uh, upstanding citizen when you're out here doing full moon rituals while not, you don't follow the laws that govern you. I follow the laws that govern me. I follow the laws that govern me. Or they follow the laws of whatever their cult does. Whatever the cult needs, they oblige. They follow the laws of the moon, doing moon rituals and whatnot. And now they want to have love on the brain. We got Allah reverse because he did reach out to me, left me a message, and it was kind of like a whatever type text. Like I haven't talked to him in like two. The last time I talked to him was in 2023, like 2023, and you reach out to me in 2026 to say hope all is well. That was it. But you so-called believe in Islam. You believe in Allah. You want to go to paradise. I don't think you're going to go to paradise because Allah is in reverse right now because that says to me that it was never about Allah for you. Because if it was about Allah, if it was truly about Allah, Allah is the another name for the Most High God in Islam. If it was about Allah, then you would have always done the right thing, because you've taken us around other Muslims who were in the upright, but you still had your secret, and I'm pretty sure they didn't know about. But you was just a lustful human being. You were never loyal to your wives. You cheated on all your wives. You cheated on your girlfriend. You told your girlfriends, you know, you didn't treat women very well because you didn't know how to treat your own daughters well. You didn't know how to treat us. You left us out here to be swept up by whatever. You left us out to sea. You left us out to sea to fend for ourselves. So now you wanna? Are you bugging out? I don't. I doubt it. I don't know who's bugging out. Maybe it's my sister and brother, whom I haven't talked to since 2023. But actually, the whole thing has been sketchy. I don't know. Maybe somebody need a hip replacement. Sunny. And I don't know why I ever wrote that name Sunny. It could it have been the name of a friend? I don't know. What's his name, Sunny? I don't know. I remember faces. I could really I could barely remember names, but I definitely can remember faces. I don't know why Christina wants to pop up. It pops up, and then it pops down. So I'm not really gonna reveal much more about this person's addictions because it's gonna come out anyway. Because right now they're on edge mentally. They're on edge, and it is what it is. I really don't want to read too much into this. All I know is I've done my part. I've released this. I forgive, and I'm letting go of the situation. Letting go to the situation. Got depressed. I'm not depressed. Depressed reverse. Why would I need to be depressed? Alegua. It's the first Orisha. Monday. I was born on a Monday. The number 3. Alegua represents the number 3. And 3 represents hold on y'all. I think I got it in my book. Hold on. Where is my numerology? Where is my notebook? Oh, right here. Right in my face. Right in my face. I don't want the video to cut out on me. All right. So 3 is teamwork, early growth, or collaboration. So let me just make sure I was reading on the right line because I do not have my glasses on. Yeah. So early growth and collaboration. So I was true to this at an early age. I was intuitive to this at an early age. I knew exactly what was going on. Definitely. And it definitely shaped my life. You siphoning from my energy to build your success, to build your career, you know, it wasn't right. But you did it anyway, right? So, Allegra holds the keys to destiny. It's the master of the crossroads. Red and black are the colors of Allegra. Allegra teaches life lessons through obstacles. So I learned a lot of lessons through life obstacles. Allegra could be a guide and also a trickster. So instead of me going the route of being a trickster, I was a guide and I became a guide. And I became a guide to lead my uh, family out of a lifelong curse, a lifelong full of burdens and addictions. It is the time for things to change. It is the time for us to recognize our own images, our own souls in the mirror, and say, is that really me? And if so, let me change the reflection that I see, because that reflection is not what God expects of me. It's not. So we have to be in a position to question our own motives and the reasoning behind why we do what we do. If you believe in a higher power so much, then you should be doing the right thing. If you believe that when you leave this earth, you're going to go to paradise or you're going to go to heaven, you think you're just going to go there just by being present, just by being in your body, just by not doing the work on yourself? Because there is nobody out here perfect. There is nobody out here without a flaw. We all have our own issues. We all go through our own obstacles. But the point of going through the obstacles, the sole purpose of going through those obstacles is to learn the lesson and to move forward and to do what's right so that we can pass the baton on to the next generation and just keep that flow of positivity going forward. But we can't do that if we're like crabs in a barrel, trying to pull each other down, trying to hit each other below the belt, just trying to uh, do the most. I mean, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna work. We have to do better. Why is it that we need to compete against our own people? Like why does there need to be a competition of one sister being better than the next, or one sister being chosen versus the other one being picked? Why do why does there need to be a choice? Why can't we both be great? Why can't we both have victory? Why can't we both triumph over these obstacles together? Why do we have to compete against each other? Oh, you're stopping your addiction. I don't want you to stop your addiction. I want you to keep doing this addiction. Does that make any sense? No, it does not. It doesn't make much sense at all. There's no reason for us to compete against each other. So I'm gonna leave this message here. I mean, this is not supposed to resonate with anybody but me. But if you happen to resonate with it, that's cool. But I just want it to be a lesson for others. Like, no matter what you go through, and trust me, I went through way more than this. I went through a hell of a lot. You know, I've gone through things that, um, yeah, I should have been in the grave a long time ago. The the things that I've been through, I should have been in a grave a long time ago. Actually, I should have been in a grave um by 12. Yeah, 12 years old was the first time that I ever thought about, you know, doing something. Um, oh, I just want to mention one more thing. So that time that Archangel Michael appeared before me was a time where my dad was out doing whatever he was doing, cheating on his wife, uh, with his girlfriend. Um, Archangel Michael appeared. Um, we were in a very diabolical situation, and I kind of feel like, you know my dad could care less if we made it out or not. He made it seem like he cared. I think he kind of knew. He never really talked to us and asked us how we felt about anything or how we felt about this woman. Um, he just needed someone there to help raise the kids while he was out doing whatever he needed to do. Um, but he was definitely a warlock. Definitely a warlock. But so when Archangel Michael appeared to me, he came right on time because it was a time in my life where I was going to make a really, really huge mistake and do something that would have um, put me in the system. And he stepped in right on time and saved me. And from that day on, him, uh, my ancestors that had passed before me was with me that I wasn't quite aware of. It was my great grandma, my my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, as well as probably my paternal grandfather, and my maternal great grandmother. Uh, they were definitely there with me, along with the Most High God, Creator of all things good, and along with Christ. Christ was there with me. He was definitely there with me. He was definitely there. Christ. And my dad does not like anything about Christ. That's okay. He said Christ was just a messenger, but so was Elijah in the Quran. Quran. So was Elijah. They were all messengers. We're all messengers for the Most High Creator of all things good. We're all His messengers, you know. But God, He chooses who He allows to sit on a pedestal, and He chose Christ. He chose Elijah. He chose Abraham. He chose many others. But Christ is the most recognizable. You see, he didn't believe that Christ, you know, died for our sins. Before then, you know, we if we did something bad, we were headed towards damnation. There was no grace. There was no mercy. By Christ going through all the obstacles that he went through, it gave, he sacrificed for us so that God could give us grace and mercy. So that if we made a mistake, we wouldn't just be damned to hell. right then and there, he gives us grace. He gives us mercy to make another decision. That is the reason for Christ. That was the sacrifice that Christ did. So a lot of people, they bash something before they even do their research or really understand spiritually what it means. And also my father, he was somewhat of a racist. Somewhat of a racist. Especially when I brought home a Caucasian boyfriend. He didn't like it, but it wasn't about him liking it. It was about me being happy. And me being happy was, he could care less whether or not I was happy, because he didn't care if I was happy when I was a kid growing up. But that's neither here nor there. I still did what I wanted, but at the same time, I did um, sabotage the situation. I helped in sabotaging the situation because um, my father projected negativity towards this relationship. He projected that the situation would fail, and it did. Um, and my responsibility of that situation is because I was not fully aware at that time. You see, I was still um, emotionally tied to wanting to make him proud of me, and that was the main thing that I had to heal, was wanting to make him proud of me, when the most important thing I could do for myself is look to Creator and do right for myself and do right by the Creator by showing myself some love and start being happy within myself and for myself, and not dependent on whether someone else would approve of my happiness. And that was when I began to heal. And you can heal too. But that's all I'm going to say on this situation. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'm actually going to come back on here in like 30 and do a energy read, because I did get a download. Um, yeah, I definitely got a download. It could be significant to this though too, but I'm gonna do the download that I got, and we're gonna go from there. And I'm gonna start being on here more. I need to have my schedule and just get in here and do it. You know, stop playing around. Get out here and do these daggone readings. But yeah, this is part 2 of my father was a warlock who hid behind religion. Yeah, fifth is it a fifth degree Mason? Let me see. Hold on. Hope this don't cut off. I'm gonna have to like transfer it over before I do the other reading. Let me see. Fifth degree Mason. I don't know why I just heard that. Oh, oh wow. A fifth degree refers to the perfect master within the Scottish Rite. This philosophical degree focuses on the themes of Masonic honor, honesty, sincerity, and industry. The core message emphasizes that trustworthiness is the cornerstone of human relations, and that one should live life preparing for the future. Okay. Wow. And we're going to leave it there. I will see you guys on N30. Peace, love, and hair grease.